Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing this October the 4th, 3rd. I don't know what day it is. October the 3rd, 2025. And we have a milestone is about to be set here in the silver bullion world. And this is where you come to be an asset millionaire via steady investing, asset appreciation in a chronic dollar depreciating inflationary environment. And you can see we took it out the 1980 high was sitting there at uh 47.85 in the weekly. We've taken out that. Now the 2011 all-time high is 49.77. So we're within striking distance now. And we've made that call, Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing, the Asset Millionaires Club. I'm not a financial advisor. I only share what I am doing and investing in to become an asset millionaire. And I've been doing that for 5.5 years on here publicly with you to educate you. And hopefully you would join the mission, the group, the momentum to become an asset millionaire. With the key aspects of that is investing in 4 different assets uh, throughout your life into retirement and hopefully having $1 million or more in each of them. One is in commodities, gold and silver bullion or mining stocks, as well as emerging market stocks, and that can be included in that. 401k is another one. So there's 2 different ones. 401k moves opposite on the forces that make gold and silver move up, right? So there's 2. Then you can have mutual funds or index funds, which is stock still, but they're just slightly different. There's 3. And then real estate would be number 4, right? Those are the critical things you need to have. And one of those is the gold and silver bullion. And you can see now we're coming up to the 49.83. This is a great day. This is a, a monumental day, not only for the silver bullion and the commodity world itself, but me and Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing and you, our jabroni killers and our followers, we've been watching this together since it was at $16 an ounce. And we had a $50 target, which would be retesting its 2 other all-time highs from 1980 and 2011. Then we said it would break out of that and we would go to $75 to $100. Then we would have to meet our target out of this portion of the breakout right here of the uh handle, which would bring you up to 150 to $200, right? And we have that where it marks you at $200. Then the 3 decade long cup that's right here that started with the 1980 peak to the 2011 double top, that targeted move gets you all the way up to $746. Now that one, people would think that's pie in the sky, but people once thought $200 and $100 when I first started publicly making those to you that's on here that those are pie in the sky. Now 75 to 100 next year is the consensus, right? And that's on its way to our $200 initial target in the breakout, and then going towards 2030, potential $746, and that would just make up and get it closer to how far up the price of gold bullion is now, because it's got to start reevaluating. Because I think gold on its way to 5,000, and then it's going to 10,000, right? Because we're way past our $3,500 cup and handle target that we had in the price of gold bullion that we made in this on here when we first came out. So that's very, very exciting in the gold bullion. The B2 gold is almost up 100% now. We have 3,300 shares of that. The Fortuna silver, the First Majestic, the Silver Corp, right? The Kinross gold's almost up 4x now. We're up 380% in Kinross gold. Hecla Mining, Barrick Gold, Pan America Silver, and Dolly Varden, which just had a great buying opportunity yesterday with the Dolly Varden because they sold 3.2 million shares at $6.50 of common stock to an investor. And as always, good news, mining stocks, the price dumps and it went down 14% from swing high to aftermarket low. So I did in my long-term account pick up 1,200 of those at $4.83 as an average price on the crash yesterday. Because I didn't have that in my mining ETF. I only had it on Robinhood, so I figured Might as well go into the open market when it was down about 13% from high to low on good news and buy it for the long term. Could it backfire and have a better buying opportunity? Yes, because it is near the 52-week high. But sometimes you just got to pull the trigger, and the silver bullion is up 4% in the futures, and it's up 2.67%, right? In the spot price of the silver bullion, and the gold bullion is sitting right around $3,900 on its way to 4,000. Then obviously it's going to be on its way to 5,000. And the Bitcoin price has recently had a massive spike this morning. And we are now establishing option A that we were talking about when we were attempting to either A, break back up into here, or B, break down to some lower lows, and now we're going near that all-time high. We're just below it. We've had a big spike recently, and now it's critical. Can we take out this all-time high and then on a back test hold this and then continue up and maybe work its way closer to a target that we thought maybe we would hit earlier, towards this 145 to 155,000, and potentially get near that 175,000? Or is just going to fiddle out, and not either just briefly make a new all-time high or fiddle out here and start to trade sideways and run into the rising channel support and fall below it and then start using it as resistance before it eventually falls down. It's a big swing. It's at a critical spot because it's been a 3.5 year pattern. So it's not going to want to give it up easy. The buyers are going to want to keep it in there. The Fed is lowering rates, which makes the retail traders want to buy it more. This is very, very critical and very exciting. And we're going to continue to watch it with the Bitcoin price where it goes. The Ethereum price has continued to soar off the 100-day moving average. And you can see that too. You can see it tagged at 38.91, which was the 100-day moving average, retook the neckline resistance, now support again, took over the 50, and now we're approaching the triple top and the all-time high of 49.60. If you break the all-time high, you're going to probably shoot straight to 52 to $5,400. If you get rejected anywhere between now and the 49.60 all-time high, you're underneath support. The major one is obviously this neckline underneath support, because if it broke that, the 100-day moving average wouldn't be able to hold it this time, and you would trade down to the 200-day moving average, which conveniently is sitting just on top of the underneath support of the rising channel, sitting there, or the underneath support of the green support and resistance box at 34.96. If we look at the XLM, it's had a ferocious rally too. It's in the same spot. It's slightly below yesterday's high when we talked. And we talked and said if the bullish action continues, you got to retake the 43 cents, which is a major overhead short and medium term resistance. And it's been acting as heavy resistance the last three times. The first time you overshot it, couldn't hold it. The second time you tried to do it, couldn't do it. And flush both times. Now you're coming back up for a third time to try to touch it. And if you can reclaim it, you can get short-term bullish and try to take out these regional highs and make a run up there at the 55 cents. If you get rejected between this 43 cents and the current price, your next move to the downside would more than likely be would more than likely knife straight through the 50-day moving average, cut through the 100-day moving average, dip back below the 36 cents, and have a full candle hit on the 34 cents, right? And then it would have to decide to have another big bounce or cut down through to the 31 cents, like we got you showing down there, that we're keeping, because I still believe there's a possibility, if not even likely, to come down there, which is just above the weekly time frame moving average at 30 cents, which that might actually be in the weekly time frame. Probably have to we have to update it way up. You can see these moving averages. We haven't moved in a couple of weeks. You can see it's even closer now. It's sitting up there at 31 cents is the weekly time frame moving average. In the 50, this says it's unlocked. We move that up there. It's at 25 cents now. And you can see, get out of there. You can see if we unlock that, the 100-day moving average has moved up too. So that's giving more and more confluency that there could be a big drop coming, and this might just be a fake out, but we don't know that yet. So we're going to continue to watch the technicals to see exactly what happens in the short term. In the long term, obviously, we know where we're going, but we're talking short to medium term. The XRP price is the same thing. You can see we got to update the weekly time frame moving average has significantly moved up to $2.31. The 100-day moving average has moved from $1.62 since the last time we moved this all the way up here to $1.77. and the 200-day moving average has significantly moved up too, up to the $1.28. And it's similar technical analysis for the XRP, as we have to see, and what we're trying to pay attention to is we're actually right on now the 307. We initially got rejected, which you would expect. Now we're running back into it again, which you would expect. Now what you want to see over the next day or two or today, get on top of this, hold it as support, and then continue to the upside. And if you do that, that's what we've been talking about ever since we bounced off of just above the 200-day moving average in the Dowie. Then we can take out this regional high at 318 and make a run at the actual cycle high of 366, right? And that's what we're trying to do this weekend. And it's going to be very interesting and very exciting and very explosive. And you can't afford to miss any of the action to stay on top of the day-to-day and minute-by-minute price action in the XRP. Now, on the contrary, or the contrarian, or the bearishness, or the counter trade to that would be this can't do what we just talked about, and it sputters out whether it gets above it or not, and then it starts to lose that and slips fast, and it would slip to 50, it would slip to 100, it would slip this regional low if it did do that, and it would be a big fall all the way down to the 200-day moving average at 261 and the horizontal left to right in yellow major pattern support at 256, 255, right? So those are the two scenarios we're looking at here in the XRP. It's very similar across the board. It's very exciting times. We have the algo trying to punch its way and fight its way and claw its way back above the three major moving averages that we talked about yesterday, sitting there at about 23 and a half cents, just below the critical bottom part of that 24 cents red resistance and support box that it needs to get back on top of, because it did flush down after it broke out of it, like we said, down to the 20-cent level, and that 20-cent level did provide a nice significant bounce like we thought it would. But we said if it doesn't want to be a short term or a retaliatory bounce, you got to get above all of these and confirm above them, more specifically that 24 cents. If we take a look at everyone's favorite, the DGB, uh, one half of the coins that I think are going to be the major coins that are going to be and give you the most wealth and the biggest price appreciation in 2026 is the DGB and the AMP. And you can see we're fighting its way over the 50-day moving average in the daily time frame. We're about to punch its way through the 100-day moving average and then knock down the barrier for the last time and get back on top of that horizontal major short-term support and resistance at 0.008 in yellow, fire through the 200-day moving average, finally reclaiming it, not give it back, and then we can start the more meaningful rally as the track is showing in AMP and in the DGB going into the latter half of this year. And this is the typical time where you start to usually rally in the cryptocurrencies. Going into November, December, and January, you peak, and then you start to decline, and you rinse, wash, and repeat until late spring and early summer. Mid-June, you start to rally through June and July and August, and then you deflate again. So this could be the pump time. And on this cycle in the DGB, the zero point 0.02 to zero point 0.09 are my targets on this next pump cycle. And from the current price, that would be a 1.5 to 10x move. And I believe these will be the ones that give you the best price appreciation in the next phase of this pump. And I believe another one that's going to do very, very good and maybe give you the best one. And I'm very, very bullish on it. We have over 1 million coins on the AMP. That's how bullish we are, because I feel in this next pump cycle, in this altcoin 3.0 cycle, if it does go as textbook and does start here this month and ramps up in November and peaks in mid and late December going into the first of the year, and then starts to sell off January, February, March, April, I think this is going to be, along with the DGB, your biggest winner. And from where we're currently at, I believe we're looking at a minimum of 232% right off the bat. But then the targets out of this is a 7x to a 20x move. Somewhere in between that. I think we're going at least 7x on this next pump. I think we're taking out these two previous highs. I think the long 3-year wait uh, of people holding, but I haven't been holding for 3 years. We bought a little bit back here, rolled that pump, sold it, and then we bought back in starting back here. I believe we bought our first buy here, then we bought some here, and then we bought our rest down in this 50% where it's been bouncing between the major support
and coming up here to the major resistance. And now our 1.03 million coins are sitting here and waiting just over $4,500, I believe, in value. Because I think we're going to 7 to 10x this. And I think this and the DGB, which my bag is only 170,000 there, is I believe these will be the two coins that give you the top appreciation in the current altcoin season 3.0 and the next end in the end game of this current bull market. Peace and love. The Rock's eyebrow, Jay.